There are 3 cameras that are located on the top of the vehicle on the back shell. Those cameras actually capture high rate, 75 frames a second imagery of the parachute inflating in the Martian atmosphere.
You can see that you can get a sense really of how violent that parachute deploy and inflation are. The parachute pack, the parachute is packed so densely that the pack is basically the same density as oak, and it's about 150 pounds worth. So as we keep going here, you can see the bogey deploy. That's on both sides of the mobility back. You see those wheels, the back 2 wheels on either side swing down. That caused a little bit of rocking of the rover as expected, but you can kind of see that kind of settles out a little bit right as we enter that plume and dust cloud. So here we go. We got a really close-up look at the descent stage, and we can start rolling that. You can see the descent stage as the rover begins to fall away from it, and see the effect of that rover wobble from the mobility deploy.
This is the same surface you just saw in the EDL cam videos. You can see some of the scouring that the rocket plumes did for us, clean it off, make it nice and clean so we can take pictures.
Was able to actually acquire the entry, descent, and landing event from their perspective, and we.
The EDL cam system successfully captured some amazing imagery of the vehicle's descent and landing on the surface of Mars. We collected a little over 30 gigabytes of information and over 23,000 images of the vehicle descending down to the surface of Mars.
So that inflation really looks textbook. It's nice and symmetric. The parachute opens in only about 7/10 of a second, again, really fast. There's no evidence of tangling of the lines, which is great. There's about 2 miles of lines in the parachute system, so the fact that we don't see any evidence of tangling or any kind of other misbehavior is great news. So pausing here, the first thing that most people will probably notice is that there's no plumes or no visible smoke or anything else coming out of the rockets at the corner of the descent stage. That's expected. Hydrazine isn't a combustion reaction when we burn it. The exhaust products are nitrogen and hydrogen, which are clear. So we expect the plumes to be clear. That's what we see in tests here on Earth as well.
This image is actually in low resolution mode. So it's 1/4 of the full resolution of the camera, so it's been shrunk down. But you can see right there the vista that we're seeing. This is the rover, obviously, on Mars, and you can see some of the material that landed on the deck. But everything looks in good shape, and so we're using these images to inspect not only the vehicle, but the surface around us.
And the HiRISE team was able to find our hardware on the surface of Mars. And so if you see in this image, if the next pop-up, you can see that we have the descent stage, the parachute, and the heat shield all here in this image. With a few stats here, the descent stage is about 700 meters away from where Perseverance is on the surface. Parachute is about 1.2 kilometers, and the heat shield about 1.5 kilometers.
Finally, I just want to briefly point out that we are finding real science value in these EDL cam videos. Here you can see a beautiful new perspective on the Jezero Delta. And if we can get the next image, also a new perspective on some of the beautiful stratigraphy around our landing site, which is up near on the far right side of this image.